tonight in Clayton County, where the death of an infant decapitated during childbirth has been declared a homicide. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. That ruling comes more than 7 months after the child's parents filed a lawsuit against the doctor who performed the delivery. Fox 5's Joy Dukes spoke with the medical examiner's office investigator who explains how they came to that decision and what it means. Joy is at the live desk with more.
Yeah, Russ, Courtney, officials with the Clayton County Medical Examiner's Office say after reviewing autopsies and consulting with experts, there was no other conclusion to come to outside of that baby's death being ruled a homicide. But homicide, as it's defined in this instance, isn't necessarily a crime.
Anybody who dies at the hands of another, that's the definition of a homicide.
A lawsuit filed last September claims it was at the hands of Dr. Tracy St. Julian that Jessica Ross and Travion Taylor lost their newborn infant in July when he was decapitated during childbirth. A death certificate signed by the Clayton County Medical Examiner Tuesday listed the child's official manner of death just underneath the cause as homicide. Emmy investigator Betty Honey says independent interviews with 2 OBGYNs who've performed
On July 9th of 2023, 20-year-old Jessica Ross was rushed to Southern Regional Medical Center in Riverdale, Georgia, after her water broke. During the delivery, the baby Trevion Isaiah Tyler Jr. reportedly became stuck due to shoulder dystocia. Her OBGYN, Dr. Tracy St. Julian, allegedly tried for hours to deliver the baby vaginally. Shortly before midnight, the decision was made to perform a cesarean section and the infant's body was delivered. Unfortunately, the head was delivered vaginally. Jessica Ross and her boyfriend Trevion Tyler Sr. filed a lawsuit against Dr. St. Julian, claiming that the doctor did not tell her and her family about the decapitation when she spoke to them at approximately 5 a.m. on July 10th. The lawsuit also claims the hospital discouraged Ross and the baby's father from seeking an autopsy, saying a free autopsy was not an option for them under the circumstances. Instead, they reportedly encouraged the couple to have their son cremated instead of being sent to a funeral home. When Ross and Taylor demanded to see and hold their child, the baby was reportedly tightly wrapped in a blanket with his head propped on top of his body to conceal the fact that he was indeed decapitated. The couple was ultimately told about the decapitation by the funeral home, according to the family's lawyer. And once the Clayton County Police Department launched its own criminal investigation, the hospital released this statement. The infant's death occurred in utero prior to the delivery and decapitation. They also said that the doctor who delivered the baby, Dr. Tracy St. Julian, is not and has never been an employee of the hospital. The lawsuit asked for Ross and Taylor to be compensated for the suffering and death of the child and the tremendous mental and physical anguish and trauma experienced by Ross, who was awake while the doctor was attempting to remove the baby. The lawsuit alleges that Dr. St. Julian failed to practice according to medical standards when she grossly negligently applied excessive traction on the baby's head and neck and grossly negligently failed to do a cesarean section in a timely and proper manner, resulting in the baby's decapitation and death. The lawsuit also says Premier Women's OBGYN is liable for the grossly negligent acts and omissions of its employees and/or Tracy St. Julian MD, who cared for Ms. Jessica Ross and the baby Trevion Isaiah Tyler Jr. on or about July 2023. Several nurses were also accused of gross negligence because they reportedly did not follow proper procedures once it was determined that the shoulder dystocia had occurred. According to the complaint, the nurses owed an independent duty to Ross and her baby. The complaint is also seeking to recover damages for full value of the baby's life, including loss of earnings and loss of enjoyment of life. Now, there was a lot of negligence on the doctors and the medical staff part, and according to the National Library of Medicine and the National Center of Biotechnology information, shoulder dystocia is an obstetric emergency that can complicate vaginal delivery and is characterized by the failure to deliver the fetal shoulders solely using gentle downward traction following expulsion of the head. Shoulder dystocia results from the anterior fetal shoulder becoming impacted behind the maternal pubic symphysis, or less commonly, the posterior fetal shoulder becoming large behind the maternal sacral promontory. Most shoulder dystocias are unpredictable and unavoidable. Therefore, any clinician involved with a vaginal delivery must have the clinical knowledge to promptly identify shoulder dystocia and be prepared to perform any additional obstetric maneuvers required to effective delivery. When this vaginal delivery complication arises, competency in the recommended sequence of maneuvers and coordinated management with interprofessional clinicians can prevent permanent neonatal injury. However, clinicians deficient in this clinical knowledge may become a mechanism of greater maternal and neonatal injury by attempting to resolve shoulder dystocia inappropriately.
And despite signs of distress, Dr. Tracy St. Julian continued to try and pull the baby out.
The clear and obvious answer is to perform a C-section. This is what's done all the time. And that was not done in this case, and it should have been.
Susan Witt is a medical malpractice attorney who examined the case for us, which claims that when the doctors finally did perform a C-section hours later, they found the baby decapitated.
I have never heard of a situation where the result has been a decapitation.
Instead of telling the couple, the lawsuit says doctors tried to cover up what happened.
I think this is one of the saddest stories that I've heard in a while, and what really makes it worse, the fact that they tried to cover it up. The fact that they tried to ignore the fact that her baby had literally just been decapitated during birth. To prop the head on top of the body and pretend as if nothing happened, that's literally criminal. Like this is inhumane. And for them to just cover it up like that, this is probably not the first time that this has happened on their watch. And I'm no doctor, but the doctors and OBGYNs that I have spoken to, they confirm, like, no, this physician was absolutely in the wrong from beginning to end. She waited too long to do the C-section. She didn't even inform the patient that the baby was experiencing shoulder dystocia. And then encourage the couple to get the baby cremated. Like, what a bunch of monsters. This couple will forever be traumatized, and so I'm glad that they actually followed through with the lawsuit and that this case has been ruled a homicide. I hope they win. I mean, most likely they're gonna win this case, but there's really no amount of money. You could probably give them all the money in the world, and that will not change what she experienced and what they are now experiencing, right? So my heart and my prayers definitely goes out to this couple. You know, I hope the justice system does the right thing, but what are we going to do as women, as Black women? What can we do? The doctor was a Black woman. I mean, doctors are human, doctors make mistakes, but just the way that this whole situation and delivery was handled, it doesn't sit right with me. And it probably doesn't, I don't know if she'll ever practice again. I don't know. Well, rest in peace to this baby, this innocent baby who just wanted a chance at life. Oh my goodness. I will definitely keep you guys updated with the results on this case. Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comment section. Do you think it was wrong for this couple to file a lawsuit against the hospital? The hospital is now even saying, listen, that doctor don't work here. Okay, she ain't a part of us. Don't sue us, sue her. See, everybody got their hands up now saying it wasn't me, it wasn't me. No, sue everybody. I would also love to hear from you guys that work in the medical field. What are some things that the doctors and the medical staff could have done to avoid this? Right? Y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and I'll see you at the next one. Later.